Da-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na. Welcome into issue 18 of Comic Cast Video. Jong Lee here.
Hey, with Michael Carroll.
Thank you guys for joining us. And from the intro, we're going to be talking about X-Men. And this was a video that we were going to do before the DC news hit this week.
Yeah, things
And
got bad.
yeah, it did get bad. And I think both of us saw this on Twitter. James Gunn, somebody asked him who his favorite X-Men were, or if he wanted to do what X-Men he would want in a movie. And he said, "Does Boop count? Because if it's so, it's Boop, Phantom X, Kitty Pryde, Storm, and Wolverine." And
Is it Boop or Dupe?
Or Dupe? I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Get his name right.
I'm not very familiar with Dupe, but he put that as his top 5 X-Men. He said my 5 X-Men. So that kind of brought us to thinking, hey, we should do our top 5. And I guess, how do you want to do this? Do you want to give your top 5? Do you want to do it one by one?
I was thinking we could go one for one. You go one,
Okay.
I go one.
All right, my favorite X-Men is probably it's Gambit, and I fell in love with the character when I fell in love with all these characters when the animated series came out, and he's not in a lot of top 5s. So and for some reason, I think that first episode of the animated series where he's like in the mall and he's like picking up the deck of cards, he's hitting on this girl, and he's like, he's doing these magic tricks with the cards, and I was like, man, that's really cool, and he can charge up anything. He can in his I guess weapon of choice are playing cards, and I was like, man, that's really cool. So Gambit is my favorite X-Men. I have a soft spot in my heart for Gambit, and when they announced that they were going to do a Gambit movie, I was very excited, and turns out it's still in production, Michael.
That's like so many years ago. Oh man, one day, John, you'll get that Gambit movie. I guess for me, I mean, I feel like my top 5 is not going to be like a deep cut necessarily. So like right off the bat, first of all, Wolverine. I mean, can you go wrong? He's got adamantium claws. He can heal. He's old. He's grumpy. He's short, and hairy, and he's awesome. I mean, he's so, I think similar to you, I think it was the animated series that first got me into X-Men back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the character was on that show, I loved the character. And then obviously with the growth of the character through the movies, through more comics and stuff, and just learning more and more about him. We don't like to talk about X-Men Origins. That's a whole thing. But it's been a great, he's such a great, interesting character to me that has a lot more depth to him than initially thought, in terms of, he just fights everybody and slashes and all that. There's a lot more to the character, and I've always enjoyed that about him.
Logan Wolverine is in my top 5 as well, so I guess we'll skip that part. But yeah, man, he's a ball of little, I don't call him a fur ball, but he's a ball of energy where he's just, he's a stocky, just animal a mutant that can just barrel through you, and just, his ability to heal and his ability just to take all this punishment and just release it right back at everybody else. It's just very animalistic feature of Logan, and yeah, he's in my top 5 too. He's not number 2, but he is in my top 5. You give another one, because he's in my top 5 too.
Well, I'm going next with Colossus. I've always enjoyed Colossus. He's a big silver chrome dude. That was the first, I want to be that character. I want that character in some way. He's another one that was always just super interesting to me. First off, because of the design of the character. And then again, he's a character that once you peel some more layers to him back, there's a lot more to the character than I think people realize. Obviously, we haven't really gotten a more nuanced version in the live action. I mean, we saw him briefly in the first trilogy we saw him probably the most in these last two Deadpool movies, and the version that they've gone with has been pretty funny. It's actually pretty interesting that they've gone with that
Mm-hmm.
version. But he's such a another cool character that I've always enjoyed, always loved to dive in and learn more about. So he's my number two.
My number two, it's not a deep cut, but I mean, it's not like, dupe or anything like that, but, and I don't know why, like, and like either energy absorption or energy, like just letting out energy, like it got me as a kid, and I didn't see him that much in the animated series, but Bishop always intrigued me. And I was like, man, like he travels through time. He can just absorb the passive ability just to absorb anything and just release it back out. Like really was fascinating. And I think what got me the most was that giant gun that he always was carrying around. And I was like, man, that's a really cool character. We haven't really seen that like an iteration of Bishop. Maybe I think once. Yeah,
Once,
one
yeah,
time, and it was a Days of Future Past. Was that the only time? And it was very
yeah,
glimpse.
that
It
was
was a
the one.
very small glimpse of him, and I wish that they would use him a little bit more in the future. And maybe we will get more X-Men characters once Marvel Studios starts putting all this stuff together, and they start giving us characters that we've never seen before. And I think that's one of my hopes is that we see characters like a Rogue. That we never seen before. She's not in my top five. I think she barely missed my top five, but she's another character that I would love to see. But Bishop is actually my number two.
Well, it's funny. So one, Rogue just barely made my top, or is like right outside the top five. She's like number six, possibly. But speaking of people that time travel, Cable. I'm going to go with
Mm-hmm.
Cable. It always fascinated me the design. Another design. A lot of these choices are design based at first because that's how I first like. I want to know more about that character. He's got like a metal arm. He's got this eye thing. The eye is like super bright. Um, it always fascinated me the way he was. Then learning who he's the son of, learning that relationship, learning how the time travel elements are always fascinating to me. And he had a giant gun too. Like it's just he's such a cool character for me that I've enjoyed. And then of course we finally got the live action version with Josh Brolin, and it was pretty good look to him and a pretty good depiction of him, I think. So I'm curious to see more of him in the future when another Deadpool movie. I think Cable
Yeah,
has always been a fascinating character to me.
yeah. I think Cable is probably right outside my top five as well. My next one was Wolverine. So I'll move on to number four, and I think that number four, I always found her very cool and just a sleek silver look and when Halle Berry portrayed her in the first X-Men, and then we got I forget the other actress's name that we got in I guess Apocalypse, which was a terrible movie. I wish they would have gave her lines and delve into that character a little bit more because she always Storm always fascinated me and there's a very cool angle that we may see and maybe like a Deadpool not Deadpool but maybe in like a Black Panther 3 that she could be part of or even Black Panther 2 because they have the rights to her but as a queen of somewhere in a wherever they want to put her and maybe do an origin that way. And I think that'd be very cool. But Storm, I think, is my number four, and I think that just the ability to just to control all the elements and have so many. It's so being so versatile. It could be very defensive. You can you can create a fog to become very stealth like. Or you can just rain thunder on somebody and just take out a bunch of things.
I promise we didn't talk about this beforehand. I promise we didn't go over our list beforehand because my number four is Storm as well. So I don't have too much to add, but yeah, she's freaking awesome. And I believe it was Alexandra Shipp was the actress
Yes.
for that. So yeah, Storm, great.
Okay, I'll give my final one, and I stand this character because he's been so mistreated in all the movies. The Captain America of the X-Men, Scott Summers, Cyclops comes in at number five. He may be one of my favorite characters to play with in Marvel versus Capcom. Just because I mean him like Iron Man, you just shooting projectiles and War Machine. I think Wolverine's in there too, just for that brawling factor. But like he was so cool to play with, and like the stigma of oh he's too proper and good, and he's the all American like goody two shoe. Like as a kid, when you're growing up, when I was watching the animated series, I was just like, oh yeah, this character kind of sucks. But then you kind of go through this renaissance of like oh like this is what this character stands up for ideals and he has this moral and he has a good head on his shoulders, a good moral compass. And you as you get older you see that, and same with Captain America, you see this like that this instilled goodness in this character and you fall in love with him. And I think Scott Summers to a lesser extent is a version of Captain America in the sense that he is this leader, this natural born leader that knows what is right, what the right thing to do is, and he is in this, I guess you could call him a Boy Scout. He is in this like narrow path, but he's also very powerful and he could take down almost anybody when if he wants to and just kill him, right? So I think Scott Summers Cyclops comes in at number 5 for me.
So number 5 for me is actually a big ball of fur because it is Beast. I've always enjoyed Beast. He's one of the smarter characters, obviously. Again, the design gets me every time. It's a big blue fur ball, but he's like he's like monstrous, but he's like not monstrous because he's actually really smart and really like speaks he speaks very eloquently, and he has little glasses that he puts on. It's all cool. But yeah, Beast has always been a fascinating character for me. Obviously, we've seen a couple of versions of Beast in the live action world with Kelsey Grammer, which I thought was actually a really good casting for him. And Nicholas Hoult, it was a good casting as well. Different design, but good casting. I don't know. I've enjoyed that character. I like how the character fights, moves. I like how he's more. I don't think he wants to fight a lot of times. He wants to talk it out. He wants to be more work things out versus just using his fists to it. But when he needs to use his fists, he can, or use his feet because he'll do like weird flips and whatnot. So
very agile.
Yeah, very very agile. So yeah, Beast has always been a character that I've enjoyed a lot.
In terms of just pure athleticism, he's probably the most athletic X-Men. Like you think about it, he's super strong, super quick, super fast, and he could just it's like if Wolverine. I mean everybody knows who Beast is, but like he's hand to hand, he's probably top 3, I would say, in terms of just pure just athleticism and strength.
Yeah, he's up there, definitely.
Yeah, so if you guys have your top 5 X-Men, leave it in the comment section below. And thank you guys for joining us. And if you like this video, hit the thumb up button.
Slap it. Boom.
Yes. Yeah. Give us a just I don't know, pull my finger. And if you like the goofiness that you get on this channel, hit that subscribe button below and turn on your notifications.
Yeah, do it. Slap the bell.
Ding, 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 ding. And you can follow our audio podcast on every major podcast platform. That's Comicast. And you can always follow us on Twitter. I'm at One Punch.
I'm at Producer Mike 975.
Until next time.
See ya.